Hello everybody, how are you? I hope you're well. Do you know, I've just realised it's very late on Thursday evening and I haven't done a video yet ready to put out for tomorrow. I've just been so tied up this week. You may hear a little bit of noise on the video. The farmer has been harvesting out the back there, and I think he's been going from dawn to dusk, literally, but it puts our bread on the table. Now I'm going to be using my cello this week because I've got a matching aftershave, Cello Milano, class in a glass bottle. And there it is. I'll be using that later on. I've already got my brush preloaded, ready to go. So let's get on with this. I'm using my rubber set 203 with the boar bristle brush. I've got a little bit of pre-shave on my face. I've used the cube again from Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements, and I've been inspired this week to pick up my straight razor again. You know, I haven't used my straight razor for a long time, and I kind of had given up on it. I'd kind of lost the thrill of it a little bit. But I had a wonderful comment on the back of one of my Sunday sit-down videos when I talked about blade coatings. And a comment was from Michael Schultz, who's been shaving with a straight razor for about 2.5 years. Michael, thank you, sir. You've actually inspired me to pick it up and to not give up and to keep going. I know some of you will have seen my other videos with a straight razor, and the problem I kept having with it is that it was just never as comfortable as a DE razor. Now, I like the challenge. I know I've said that before many times. I liked the challenge of shaving in the really old way. But sometimes it was tugging and pulling, and I couldn't work out why. Because I thought my technique was reasonably good. Now, Michael's comment was brilliant. And if I can copy and paste it tomorrow morning, I will pop it in the comments to this video so you can read it for yourselves. Because I'm sure a lot of you guys have found, like me, that firstly you don't get the comfort, and secondly you don't get as good a shave. That was what I was finding, and I kept coming back to it and coming back to it, and Michael says it takes a long time to get really proficient with a straight razor, but when you do and you get the technique down, it really becomes a joyous tool to use. Now, I didn't quite put it like that, but as I said, I'll let you read his comment in its entirety if I can copy it from the YouTube app. Now, I'm going to go a bit more with this. I want this to be a wet lather. So thinner than I would normally use, and hopefully I'll tell you what Michael suggested as I go along, and maybe you'll pick up a few tips from this and it will inspire you as well to keep going with a straight razor. I think that's pretty wet. Let's give that a go. I might go back to it later if I decide it's a little bit thick. Oh, geez, what a day. Do you know, I've got my lovely sponge. What am I talking about? Flannel here. It's from the Sheridan in Australia, and it's very, very nearly worn out. It was given to me by someone I loved very much, and I just can't quite throw it away, you know what I mean? Now I'm going to drain the water so that I can run the tap to rinse the blade. Here we are now. I've got my Wade and Butcher big wedgie. A beautiful thing indeed. I've got very dry hands. Now, Michael was saying that the secret with a straight razor is movement, and that if you start from a static, that's when you feel pulling. So the secret is to be moving the blade before it hits the skin, and to take short strokes. Now, I must admit, I normally do longer strokes. The angle, I know I've talked about this before, the angle of the blade should be one blade width or less away from the skin at this end. Now Michael comments that the discomfort that you feel with a straight razor is not usually because the blade is dull. And he has done, gentlemen, get their first shave ready straight razor and find that it tugs and pulls all the way through the shave, and I can try and get movement into this. And I can certainly tell you that is exactly what happened to me. And sometimes I get a much better shave than others. I can tell you now that this is tugging and pulling. at my hair. So oh, well, that's a little bit better. It's still pugging and tugging. It's still tugging and pulling a little, but I've gone a lot lighter with the blade. Now I feel, because it's hot, as if this is a bit dry, so I'm just going to add a drop of moisture there. See, it's jumping here. And it's definitely pulling on these softer, more flexible areas, not so much on the chin. So apparently, the comfort in a straight razor shave is 60% technique, 30% stropping, and 10% lather. And of course, with the stropping, there's a whole load of technique to learn there as well. I think it's one of those things that just takes a really long time. And of course, when our granddads and our great-granddads were shaving with straight razors, maybe that was all they had to use, and they would have had a lifetime of perfecting that technique. I'll tell you what, that's what I need. Now I can see I've got kind of the basic movements I've done quite well previously, and I know that this razor is lethal sharp. It really is. So I know it's not the razor. And therefore, logic dictates that it can only be my technique. Do you know, I had something different planned entirely for this week. I was going to use the Pils razor, but I was so taken with this comment that I had to find my straight razor and pick it up again. So that's what I've done. Glide with a straight razor is achieved by having a wet lather. So you can see my lather is much thinner. on the second pass. I have got some in my bowl because I put a drop of shellac in my bowl just to load my brush, but I'm not going to go back to that. I'm going to stick with this thin wet lather, and I'm just going to add water to it. Now what I find interesting is that even when I use my feather non-folding razor with the Feather Pro blades in there, I mean they are the sharpest razor blades in the world, or certainly they're right up there, aren't they? I think you'll agree. But even with that blade, I quite often get tugging, or my skin feels a little bit uncomfortable after the shave. Now it can't be the razor blade, so therefore it can only be my technique. Well, that's what I'm beginning to think. And apparently, when you get it right, the shave with a straight razor should be as smooth and as easy and as comfortable as a DE razor. So I have obviously got a little ways to go yet. Now I'm going to go in the same direction. Now that is smooth. Of course, I've taken off the first pass of hair. But gosh, that feels entirely different. Right. Now the reason, or one of the reasons that I didn't get together to do a video, I came in for a shave. I wished I'd had the camera recording. But earlier in the week I used this soap, Razor Rock Nomad, and it was one of those soaps that just disagreed with me. So I had to get it off my skin after the first pass. And I washed my face, and as I went like that and looked up, a spider on a thread landed there on my head. Couldn't believe it. It would have been hilarious had I been recording. So, needless to say, before this shave, I checked the ceiling. Thankfully, it wasn't a big spider. we don't have some of those monsters that you get in other parts of the world. So I'm trying to keep the blade really close to my skin. So I get that really close angle. Now this is the one. Against the grain on my neck, what's going to happen here? Do you know, it's a difficult thing to shave with a straight razor. I find, you know, once you've got it, I suppose you've got it. But I really admire people like Eric and Jonathan, a couple of YouTubers, and many others that, and Johan, that, you know, pick up a straight razor. Oh yeah, I need to do this, don't I? Pick up a straight razor and get great shades with it. As I say, mine are always okay. But it's just the comfort level's never fantastic. Now I am going to go with just a little more soap here. And I'm going to add a drop of water to that. And I think we're good. Now I'd just like to say, in response to my last Sunday sit down video, thank you, what a great response that was. If you've not found it yet, you need to go and find it, because there's a giveaway, and just follow the instructions and I will announce the video on a quick Sunday sit down this coming Sunday. So this video will go out on Friday and the winner will be announced on Sunday, and the prize that you're all clamouring for is the Edwin Jagger 316 razor, courtesy of Malcolm, who has donated it to Friendship Shaving. Now, see here, it feels like the blade's sticking to my skin. That was reasonably comfortable, but you know, I've not BBS, put it that way. I wonder if it's because it's a wedge, the actual wedge of the steel, i.e. there's no curve in it. I wonder if the wedge is just sticking to my hot, wet skin. Oh, I thought I might have myself there. You know, that's a hard bit because my neck comes up and goes in a little bit there and then comes back out from my chin. So I really have to stretch that bit to get rid of that little dip. Right, we're going to go across now. And I'm just going to put some more of this on. It really is hot here today. Do you know, just to switch the subject away from shaving slightly, I'm getting a special delivery tomorrow. When I grew up in a town in the northeast of England called Darlington in County Durham. It's affectionately known as Darlow. And one of the things that I used to get as a kid was a pork pie from Taylor's the Butcher's in Skinnergate. And they are still there to this day. Occasionally in my life I've had people visit and bring me pies, but in this wonderful day and age you can order them online, and I'm not kidding, they are coming tomorrow. The best tasting pork pies in the whole world. So by the time you see me next, I may well have eaten all the pies. I can't wait, and I'm getting some peas pudding as well. Flavours from my childhood. Now, back to shaving. I've done quite well under the nose because that's got a wicked point on it, and I haven't got myself, so bonus. Now just wiping the blade, and I will clean that with a vengeance in a little moment. I'll go to it with tissue paper just to make sure there's no moisture hidden in this part around the pivot. And I'll just have a rinse, and then we'll see how that feels. Now it's a funny feeling because I feel I've had quite an aggressive shave around here particularly, and around this part of my neck. The rest of my face just feels very mildly sore, as if I've used a slightly aggressive DE razor. But the great difference is that I've had nowhere near as good a shave as I get with a DE razor. Now, Michael urges me not to give up and to keep trying. So I'm going to urge you to do the same if you're in the position I'm in. Now I've got my cellar, and it came from a company called Agent Shave. Now Agent Shave require our help, and I'm going to talk about that on the Sunday sit down, so you'll have to wait till then. So for the moment I'm not going to tell you very much about this cellar aftershave. Except to say that it smells very nice. Now with just a few drops of that, oh, a bit stingy. And there we are, that is my shave for this week. Now I'll have to get that out first thing in the morning, but thank you very much for joining me. I hope my shave with the straight razor will prove useful to some of you, and for those of you that don't shave with a straight, I hope nevertheless it was entertaining enough for you. Until I see you on Sunday, you take care. I'll catch you then. All the best.